It's the battle of the controllers. Which one out of these three is the winner? Let's find out now.
Skip it up and that up.
So Nintendo, surprisingly, if you didn't know this, came out with a new console. Which, if you're watching this channel and you didn't know that, then there's something seriously wrong. And they're trying to get back the hardcore audience. Whether they'll succeed at that or not, we'll find out in the next 1 or 2 years. But they needed to get back that core audience. Yeah, the casual thing worked out well for them for a while, and they need to keep that audience too, but they lost the core gamer, and that was a big problem for them. It's kind of why the Wii, just when it came to third-party titles, minus the fact that it was anemic when it came to horsepower, just wagging around a controller and just flinging your arms trying to play Call of Duty on there just wasn't too much fun. So Nintendo knew they had to come up with a solution. Now, I will say that the tablet controller is pretty comfortable to play with games like COD, but they needed a real controller. Not everyone will be turned on by that, and they needed a solution. So they came out with this, the Wii U Pro Controller. You see there's a lot of similarities here to this. I mean, obviously the sticks are in different places, but this is the Wii U Pro Controller. It's small, it's a conventional controller, it's straightforward. This is their answer, so not only will it entice consumers, developers will be like, okay, there's a standard controller, we'll bring a port of our game over to the Wii U. That's why Nintendo did that. So is it a win or is it a fail? Well, we'll find out. So let's start off with ergonomics. This controller is comfortable. If you look at it, it has a very similar Batarang design to the 360, and if you really think about it, all three of them kind of have the same kind of physical structure going on. It has the Batarang thing here too. It does feel good. The buttons have good placement. The analog sticks, your thumbs are comfortable having them over here and here. The only thing I could say about this controller, especially compared to the 360 one that I don't like, the bumper buttons, the L and R bumper buttons, when my fingers, maybe it's the way my fat hands are shaped, but when my fingers go over to these, like when I have to throw a grenade in Black Ops 2, I feel a strain in my hand, like not only here, but right here. Like I feel like I have to, there goes my cell phone, I feel like I have to like reach my finger over. It's hard to explain, but it is very annoying because when you're playing Call of Duty, you have to throw, you have to use these buttons quite a bit. And that was kind of a turn off to me with that. Whereas when you use a 360 controller, it's effortless. You don't feel that same strain. You would think with the wider design, because it is a little bit wider, if you look at it, very little, but it is. You would think that this would be better for it, but no. This one, the bumpers are much easier to access. So there's one little point taken off for it. Now let's go on to something that's kind of a herp derp obvious thing here. Let's talk about, let's see with my terrible camera, let's talk about the D-pads. Which D-pad is the best out of all three? I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to realize that one. 360's D-pad is famous for being the worst D-pad ever made. There were cheap knockoff controllers for the Genesis and Super Nintendo back in like 92 that had better D-pads than this. It's mushy, it's unresponsive. When you play like Xbox Live arcade games, they're borderline unplayable with this. I know they have another 360 controller out where it has like that, you could actually spin the D-pad and it's much better, but it's a $60 controller for a 7-year-old system. Really? The PS3's, PS3's D-pad has been the same since the original PlayStation. Hell, even before they came out with the DualShock controller. It's functional. They made it just different enough that Nintendo can't sue them, and it does the job. It's a little tough to use with fighters because you still have that space in between all four buttons there, but it works. Yay. Wii U, it's a Nintendo D-pad. Nintendo invented the D-pad, at least as we know it today. Very comfortable, very responsive, not mushy at all. Fantastic D-pad. It just obliterates both of these. This is a distant second, and this, whoever designed that D-pad should be arrested and thrown in a Turkish prison. But yeah, this D-pad wins hands down. Okay, so there is another big problem with this controller. Now, I'm going to see if you could spot it real quick. Let's move these, slide them over here. Noticing something on this? Here is the Xbox. Where are these buttons on here? When you look at the PS3 controller, where are these buttons? Where are the face buttons? When you look at this controller, the Wii U Pro controller, where are the buttons? They're below the analog sticks in the Wii U controller. Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? It takes a long time to get used to. How many times I'm playing Call of Black Ops 2 with this? God, the lights keep flashing. It's driving me nuts. And I'm like, oh man, I need to reload my gun. Where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? I keep going up here. Well, and then when I finally realize the buttons are on the bottom, I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm doing something different. I'm jumping. I'm ducking down. I'm not doing the right thing. I understand it shouldn't really take points off, but we have been so used to, especially since the original Xbox and PS2 generation, and hell, even before, even the Nintendo 64, it had the one analog stick down here and the face buttons up above it. We've been so programmed, and because human beings are apes that are creatures of habit, to have the buttons above the analog sticks, that it's almost like you cannot wrap it around your brain. Maybe because I'm an old man, but I know a lot of other people younger than me too that have complained about that. I know what Nintendo was doing. They were trying to make the controller somewhat different than the PS3 and the 360 controller to not make it like ridiculously blatantly obvious that they were copying them, which they were. But you know what, Nintendo's been copied many times in the past before, so it's no big deal. But that to me is just, it's rough. And even though I've been using this for a while, I still have, issues with that. So I shouldn't take points off, but hey, I'm not the only person complaining about that. Now, another thing here that is a pretty big issue, and developers may shy away from putting games on Nintendo's console because of it. It's also on the Wii U, tablet controller, or whatever you want to call it. I guess, yeah, let's call it tablet controller. What is on the back here? Analog triggers. Crappy as they may be on the PS3. By the way, those arched up add-ons you could buy from third party, after like a week, they don't stay attached anymore. They suck. Granted, they're sloped down and really crappy. These are analog. So when you're playing a racing game, you can control your acceleration, or you can control how much you brake. They're used in other games for various reasons. The analog sticks have a lot of purpose, Major flaw. These are digital. You're either on or you're off. You're on or you're off. So if EA wants to make a Need for Speed game for the Wii U, it's either going to be gimped or they're not going to make it. Nintendo, I'm going to sound like James Rolfe right now, but what were you thinking? Why would you? They've had it since the original Xbox had analog sticks too, or analog triggers too. There's so many reasons to have analog triggers. That's why do you think Sony just like threw them on with this generation? They made sure they were analog. Now you've limited yourself, and I mark my damn words. They're going to come out with a new controller. It's going to be the Wii U controller plus DSi XL that's going to have analog. That was such an oversight. That was so dumb to do. Battery life. Yeah, talk about me changing emotion really fast. Battery life. 360, yeah, the batteries don't last that long in the controller, but the nice thing is you could change them out with AA's. Wii U, not only can you change the battery in this, 80 plus hours of battery life. Now I know the Sony's controller, the PS3 controller is really good. I know it's not close to 80 hours, but this controller, if you charge it up fully, 80 plus hours, and you could unscrew this and put a new battery in. Probably have to buy it from Nintendo, I'm sure. I'm not sure about the battery in this. If I'm wrong about that, put it in the comment section below. But that's a damn long time. That's awesome. I'm glad they got that much battery life out of it. And the cool thing is, it uses mini USB, just like the PS3 controller. So even if your Wii U's not on, you just charge this from your PC. And I'm sure someone's going to make a mod program to, you could probably use this on your PC if you want to. Which it is a pretty comfortable controller, so that might be worth it. Even though they don't have analog L and R triggers. Other flaws that kind of annoy me with this controller. Another big thing, even though, say you want to just use this to play your games, you got to have like the tablet controller as like a ball and chain on your side to go through certain menus. That royally pisses me off. Certain games just don't work with it. Why that is, I don't know. Super Mario Brothers U. Got to either use the tablet controller or you got to use a Wii mode. What's wrong with this? This is really comfortable, Nintendo. Why can't I use this? Oh, because you want me to spend more money to go out and buy a Wiimote or whatever. Or even if you have a Wiimote, you want to play with a buddy that's a 4-player game. Got to go out and buy more Wiimotes. And then if you want to play, Call of Duty, you got to go out and buy more of these. I understand why they did it, but it sucks. I don't like that. That really annoys me. But all in all, do I recommend this controller? I like it. I don't think it should be $40. I like it. It does the job, but mark my words, like a year from now, when developers shy away from this because it doesn't have analog sticks, they're going to come out with something different. Mark my words, I guarantee it. Same with the tablet controller. You may see a tablet controller plus come out. Don't understand why you did that, Nintendo, but all in all, it is a solid controller, well built, excellent D-pad, excellent feel all around. I just wish it was a little more fit better on my hands, but that just may be my hands. So yeah, if you're going to play COD and other games like that, yeah, it may hurt your wallet in the beginning, but I do give it a somewhat hesitant recommendation. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, folks. Have a good one.